Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Two of Pentacles to begin. This is a card called Change, right? This is a card that sometimes talks about you wanting to be in control of the things that are happening in your life, right? We like change as long as we're the ones changing it, you know? So I think you're somebody that doesn't really like surprises unless you're the one doing it. You like to maybe surprise other people, but you don't want to have that kind of that kind of surprise, that kind of shock or being kind of put on the spot in that way, right? But I feel like your life is starting to kind of coalesce in a certain direction, starting to crystallize. Things are becoming more clear to you. And I think that with that, you're really taking a proactive role in like getting things done, I feel like you're ready for the next step of something. You're ready to continue something forward. It could be that we're looking for what the right next step is. Okay, but I feel like we've made a conscious decision to, in some ways, really turn our life around. In some ways, in some aspects. You're somebody who I think really likes to see the effects of what they do. You like to take action and make decisions. You like to get stuff done and really be able to look at it and see it and be like, yeah, I did that. We like to check things off our list because it's fun to see those check marks. It's fun to see that, oh, I got through a lot of stuff today, So I feel like you're somebody right now who's in a very productive kind of mindset. And we are really looking for, okay, what's next? What's next? I think you're really checking things off your list right now, and we're trying to get things done. Let's see what direction all of this is headed, okay? And let's see what the next step might be. I'm also curious with the Two of Pentacles, it's kind of talking about these, it's incremental, it's step-by-step progress. What is the really big goal that we're after? So these long-term goals, these really huge, huge goals, don't take place overnight. They don't happen in one giant leap, right? It's a lot of little steps. It's incremental, and that's what these are, the incremental steps. Okay, let's see what we come across next. Oh, we got that Lust or Strength card. I feel like the more you accomplish, the more energetic you get, the more fired up you become. The Lust card, the Strength card, the Leo energy. The way that you sustain your interest, your commitment, your enthusiasm, your fiery energy is by keeping things going, right? By having that checklist where you can see, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got, a dozen things done today. And I feel like that really motivates you, okay? I feel that gives you the encouragement that you need to keep going, right? So we like to see the visible signs of our progress. We like to see things getting done. We like to see the check marks on the paper because it motivates us. It keeps us in that motivated energy moving forward, okay? I feel like this card is also talking about your kind of direct experience of life. This is a card of passion. This is a card of really feeling as if what you're doing is activating you in that spiritual and creative way. So I feel like you're doing it might be something creative. It might be something even some performance of some kind, right? Because I feel like this is that realm of bliss that we get into, you know, when you're really doing what you love. It's kind of it consumes you. It's a fire that just completely consumes you when you're in that moment. I feel like you're really, really excited about something here. Okay, and this might be the long-term goal. This might be the energy and the passion you feel day to day doing these things. Okay, this is a card of courage, too. And I think that you are a very courageous person. I feel like you're doing something now that is really, it's really changing your life. Okay, this is kind of us getting a hold of something that really does consume us, really does get us really fired up. And it's almost like we can think of nothing else but this, okay? But there's a courage and a confidence here that you know you can succeed, okay? You know that this is the goal worth pursuing. This is the life that is worth living. One that is filled with passion and excitement and enthusiasm, right? And ambition and a lot of creativity. Now, you may not view yourself as a creative person, but you are. And I think the Two of Pentacles shows that you're able to continually make these choices to get you toward your ultimate goal. And it's, in some ways, you're creating your life. And that's the ultimate act of creation, right? Is to create your life. And even if you don't consider it to be artistic or anything like that in a traditional way, I feel like it is. Now, I want to look at some more cards and see what else we've got here. The Eight of Swords. There is a tendency to overthink. And that's, you know, that's a tendency that's in all of us, honestly. But this is something underneath the surface here. It's something that you might not be so aware of. It might be something that is, it's kind of like it's reaching up from the bottom and it's trying to grab your heels and pull you back down, right? So we have to be careful about overthinking. I think you're somebody who, in maybe traditional Aries fashion, you don't always think before you act. It's kind of, we're making these changes, we're getting that strength or lust response, you know, to things. We're getting that passion, we're getting that enthusiasm. It feels good, it feels right, and it's kind of more instinctual than it is thoughtful. And so we're using that as our measure of the correctness of our choices. So the Two of Pentacles, we do something, we decide something, we take a step, and it feels like it's reinforcing us, and so we think that was a good step. I'm going to do another one. The Eight of Swords underneath is sort of the opposite of that. It's sort of as if there is one part of you that is kind of questioning that methodology, right, of going with your gut. And if it feels right, if it feels like it really fires you up, if it has that kind of passion to it, then it must be right, right? The mind sometimes says, well, wait a minute. Just because it feels right and seems right and looks right, and maybe it's not. So I think that there is a tendency in you to, and maybe it's you go through periods of time where you just kind of get locked up in your head a little bit. And it could be two very separate things. We're either going with our gut, going with this passion response, or we're overthinking it. Okay? And I think sometimes this overthinking creeps up on you when you don't expect it, and then we kind of stop doing things, we stop taking action, we just say, wait a minute, put everything on hold, and we get into our heads. And we tend to stay in our heads until, that inertia is going to build up until something comes along and moves us out of that. So I think you're prone to periods of introspection that might be a little bit prolonged. Okay? Let's see what's behind everything here. The Knight of Pentacles. You certainly have the long-term goal. Okay? The long-term goal, though, is in the past, right? So I think that at one point, at the beginning of this current project, endeavor, relationship, if it's a work thing, family thing, whatever it is, whatever you're doing right now, right? I think that you started off with a very clear idea of what you wanted. But now we bring in this Eight of Swords. Are we starting to question that, the ending? Are we questioning the outcome? Yes, maybe I'm checking things off my list. It feels good. I feel empowered. I feel passionate. But the end, do I still want that? I like what I'm feeling now as I'm doing this work, but maybe this isn't really the goal that I'm after anymore. So the whole thing kind of starts to break down and come to a screeching halt. Again, the Knight of Pentacles is always that energy that looks toward the future and sees an image of the goal, the destination, right? The palace, in the distance, the castle over there. That's where I'm going, okay? And then it's really about the Two of Pentacles, step by step, getting there. We're on the path. We're walking the path. And it is one that does require courage and bravery and creativity and passion. And I think it's very satisfying in this moment. But thinking of the long term, now we're starting to overthink the long-term objective. Is it something that I still want? Are we having more fun and more fulfillment just out here on the journey, right, on the quest, and we don't really want to get to the end? Maybe we're starting to not be so sure what the end even is again, So the Knight of Pentacles is something that you had done. Perhaps we need to do it again. But let's see what's up above everything. What are we aspiring to? The Princess of Pentacles. So this is the kind of paradise that the Knight of Pentacles is looking for. This is that perfect life. This is that abundance, superabundance, right? This is, everything that you want in life now manifesting, materializing. This is you realizing that whatever you put your mind to, you can manifest. If you can dream it, you can build it. Okay? This card is everything. This card is every other card of the tarot, right? And it's not very specific, is it? It doesn't say that you're just looking for, financial success, or you're looking for a certain part of the world to live in, or you want a certain kind of family environment, or it doesn't really show exactly what those things look like. It just says you want the best life. You want everything you touch to turn to gold. Okay, but what does that really mean? So the Eight of Swords is us now asking Princess of Pentacles, what are you exactly? In some vague and general way, it's your best life, but yeah, what does that even mean? Right? This is the life that you really want to manifest. I want everything that I participate in to be successful. I want all of my wishes to come true. I want to reach all of my goals. Yeah, but what does that mean? What are those goals, ambitions? What are those wishes? The Eight of Swords is starting to ask these questions. And maybe the Knight of Pentacles never really figured it out all the way. Okay? So get ready for this moment in your life where I think you're going to start asking yourself these questions. What am I really doing? Why am I really doing it? What do I hope to get out of this? What are my dreams and goals and wishes? What is it that I want to manifest? Where do I want to live? Who do I want to live with? What kind of dynamic do I want in my relationships? What kind of love do I want? Divine love, self-love, romantic, platonic, right? What kind of things are you interested in? What kind of things do you want to build, right? So I think this is the sort of the wall that we're running into. Of course, with the Two of Pentacles and the Lust card, we've been going along very, very steadily, very passionately. But now it's we're passionate for the moment, but what about the long term? Where are all these steps, if we put it that way, right? It looks like the lemniscate, the infinity symbol. We're just going to be out here questing for the rest of our lives. We don't really know what the mission is. This is a questing knight that is just out there having adventure after adventure. What is the quest? What is the goal here? How's it gonna end, right? How is it going to conclude? Because this is it's just looping back in on itself. It's just going round and round and round. So what is in the future position? Queen of Cups. Well, we have to find out what our dreams, hopes, and wishes are. Now we've got 3 court cards, so I'm going to go ahead and say that there are other people that are factoring into this with you, whether they be family or friends or coworkers. Also, there is some connection with a father figure for you, and I don't know if there's some issue with your father or something like that, but I feel that there's something significant about their face. Either they had a very distinguishing scar or birthmark or maybe tattoo, or there was something interesting about their face, right? I feel like there's still some unresolved thing with you and the father energy. There might not be a biological dad or anything like that. It doesn't have to be gender specific either, but something with that paternal energy is still a factor for you. And I'm not sure how it plays into all of this, but the Queen of Cups is showing you the way forward. And the way forward is to lift the veil of your own emotions and find out what you really feel, what you really want, what you really wish for, what your dreams and aspirations really truly are. How do you really feel right now? How do you really feel about the future and what kind of future you want? Okay, I see you're very busy doing a lot of good things right now. The moments feel very good. And I wonder if you're keeping yourself really, fired up, really busy in the moment, doing a lot of things that feel good and that are satisfying and that are very productive, and are very, very ambitious, always staying involved in projects. You probably have a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of things going on, right? But are we busying ourselves with all of that because there's something else that we need to look at within? The Queen of Cups is asking us to lift the veil of our own emotional depth, right? To find out what it is that you truly want in life. Okay? Because then maybe the Two of Pentacles can take a particular direction. Maybe with the Lust card here over the top, this is showing that there is a lot of creativity, a lot of ambition, a lot of fiery energy, but it needs to be channeled in a particular direction. Okay? And the Queen of Cups is that emotional depth that we've got to take a look at. It is the radical honesty, right? Radical self-love. It is lifting the veil of our own emotions, right? It's an emotional transparency with something we have to take a look at here. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And it's going to go right here. We're going to put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top of that card. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's totally free and it supports the channel. This channel is supported by viewers like you. So thank you. I appreciate you. Let's check your general energy now on the path of the Serpent. We got the Universe card. Sometimes these are the questions. The Universe card is about the endings, the conclusions, right? The materialization, the crystallization, the solidification of all of your energies. What is the end? What is the conclusion here, right? So this is a strong confirmation that we're thinking about the long-term outcomes of all of this activity, and that could be what you're going to be facing, I think, if you're not already in this Eight of Swords energy. It's something that's kind of creeping up from underneath. And I think it's going to bring things to a bit of a stop while you try to figure out what the Princess of Pentacles really looks like. See, the Universe and the Princess of Pentacles are almost the same card, right? The Universe is kind of a card that says there are infinite possibilities. Any one of them could be possible. You could accomplish any one of these things. You could carve out your own little place in the world, in the universe. What does the final finished product look like? It could be anything you want. The Princess of Pentacles is kind of the same thing, but now it's not the potential, it's the actual. If this is still unmanifest, this is the manifest, right? So in this context, I feel like the Princess of Pentacles is you accomplishing a lot of things. accumulating a lot of wins in your life, let's say, right? A lot of goals are being reached, a lot of accomplishments, you're getting a lot of stuff done, you're checking a lot of stuff off your list, you're accumulating a lot of things. Maybe concrete, tangible, things, maybe just experiences, okay? You've been doing a lot of stuff and accomplishing a lot of things, succeeding at a lot of things. But the universe card then, between these two, starts to ask the question, are we just accumulating a lot of stuff? How are they connected? Is it just so disjointed, right? It's kind of like somebody who has, they're decorating their house and they just have all of these different, different aesthetics, clashing aesthetics and different genres of art or whatever. I don't know that much about art. But just it's very eclectic. And it's kind of like, what's the vision here? Maybe that is the vision, right? The eclectic vision. But I feel like we've got to figure that out. Because I feel like you've been doing a lot of things and they're just kind of, how do they connect? How do they all point to a particular direction? And maybe that's the question we really have to ask. Take a look at everything you've been doing over the past year. All of your activities, all of your projects, endeavors, all of your relationships, everything that you've started, everything that you've ended, everything that you are still working on, right? Whether it's spiritual stuff, financial, friends, if it's work stuff, creative stuff, all of it. Kind of make a list of all that stuff, right? Is it pointing somewhere? Can you figure out if all those things are clues? What is the revelation there? What do all those clues point to for you? Okay, that's what the universe card is asking us. All right. Now, with the father person, I feel like they had, something really they had something going on with their digestive system, right? Either stomach stuff or intestinal stuff, right? And I don't know if the father figure is passed or if they're still here, but I feel like there's something. There's some tension between the two of you. And I feel like they had some medical issues, right? Either currently or in the recent past, yeah. And I feel like that's still a factor for you in some way. And I don't know what bearing that has on your current life path, but it's still something that's very attached to you right now, okay? Let's see what the card of the environment is, your relationship with the environment, Two of Swords. Now, Two of Swords, kind of a card of decisions. It's sort of, even a crossroads in some sense. It is a card that encourages us to use our intuition. It's sort of it's very much about the relationships here, because this is the position of how you relate to other people in your life, okay? And I kind of feel as if this might be related to that father figure too, because it kind of feels as if you're not with me, then you're against me, right? And I think that this card is asking us to take a look at some of our interpersonal relationships. How are we relating to other people? Your friends, your family, your coworkers, your pets, whatever it is. Do we have almost like very black and white thinking and even feeling and the way we interact with other people? In the sense of, you either support me or you're absolutely against me. Right? If somebody tells us something that we don't necessarily want to hear, we assume that they're an enemy, that they're out to get us, right? Or that we give somebody, ultimatums. We either say, well, you either, get on board with what I'm doing, or I'm cutting you out of my life, It feels like there's not really any gray area for you. That if somebody communicates with you in a way that you don't like, or they say something that sort of challenges something you believe, I might be getting myself into some hot water here, that you tend to shut down, right? Because there's no room for the nuance with this card. And that's why we've got to go to the lunar energy at the top. We've got to feel our way through these relationships and know that there is nuance and there is shades of gray everywhere. Okay? And it's not that people are either an absolute ally or they're an enemy. Okay? And so I wonder if that has anything to do with that father energy. I wonder if either that's part of the relationship or if that's something that you sort of inherited, through your upbringing. Because I feel like you're very quick to cut people off. Something rubs you the wrong way, and that's it. You never talk to that person again. You're very quick to write people off, And I think we need to, use that Queen of Cups a little bit here. Maybe find out why it is we do that. Okay, or where we sort of learn that from. Okay. I think that you're going to encounter something similar to that in the next couple of weeks, few days, 10 days maybe. That there's going to be a choice that you have to make in terms of one of your relationships. Now, it might be with that father figure, the paternal energy. It could be with anybody else. I feel like it's with a family member, though. Okay, and it seems as if you're making the decision whether or not to kind of keep them in your life or completely write them off. Okay, and this is a particular instance where it's important that you follow your intuition and not your kind of, your intellectual anger, right? This kind of the thinking or the overthinking about it, right? That we don't allow ourselves to get personally offended. We follow the intuition. So I feel like there's something very important that you're going to be receiving or being told some information, and I don't know how you're going to react to it, but I feel like in your mind, we're going to go through that whole process of being personally offended, and then, I can't believe they would do that or say that or propose that, right? Maybe it's, maybe they have a different opinion or a suggestion or some kind of advice that maybe you didn't ask for. But in that particular relationship, be careful that you don't just sort of react and do something impulsive. Okay, let's look at what the next card is. A Two of Swords, very, very interesting. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is about completion. Four of Wands is about getting things ticked off the checklist, right? The Four of Wands, I think, is partly that we feel accomplished. We feel productive. We feel proud when we are able to kind of clear our desk, when we're able to get things done, even if the finished result doesn't mean anything. Okay, it sort of feels like we've got a lot of busy work that we do, right? And it feels productive. It feels like we're accomplishing things. But what's the bigger picture again, right? The Four of Wands is the difficulty here. It's in the challenging position here in the spread. This is kind of this is the obstacle here. That if we shift our focus to try to reassess the long-term plans here, right? It might take away from that immediate experience of getting things done. You know what I mean? Because now if we do focus on this long-term goal, we might be eliminating a lot of that busy work. And so the way these cycles will complete and things will, check the box on the checklist, it goes around and around. It might go a lot slower. Okay? And I think that's going to take you into a more kind of prolonged activity. So it's not going to be the immediate satisfaction of, I got a dozen things done today. Maybe it's like today I didn't really get anything done. Maybe it's going to be a week or something before I'm actually able to get something off of the checklist there. So the shift to the long-term goals sort of forces us to reassess what our day-to-day life is like, you know. And so I feel like we're really in need of the long-term structure, the long-term vision, okay? And then maybe if we kind of roll it back or reverse engineer it, we can still have this Two of Pentacles and this lust energy right now here today, but there will be a way, it'll be more channeled into a particular direction. Does that make sense? So the Four of Wands is kind of sacrificing those day-to-day immediate successes, right, for the sake of the long-term vision that we hopefully are going to, we're going to get a clearer picture of. The Two of Swords. Let's be careful with that relationship. There is and it might be with this father energy, this paternal energy. It could maybe be an older male, but it's going to make you want to kind of cut and run. It's going to be something, I think, that you sort of take personally, right? And I feel like you're being asked to just suspend your judgment, suspend your reaction to it. Let's see what the final card is, the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups makes me feel as if, yeah, it's something that's going to offend us in a way, you know. And when you're offended, it's very easy for you to kind of, you know, just completely cut that person off. Just completely never talk to them again. I want to do an oracle card here. We're going to use the Empowerment Oracle for that Eight of Cups. So we have an Eight of Swords and an Eight of Cups. And I think the more we think about what this situation is with this loved one, feel like it's a family member, when we think about that conversation or that proposal or that advice that they give you, the more you think about that, the worse you're going to feel about it. Okay? The heart and the mind are really going to get in a bit of a tizzy about it. Okay? Let's do one empowerment card. The Tool of Habit. I will use the tool of habit to build my life, not tear it apart. Like hot metal, new beliefs and habits begin as malleable as liquid, but set as hard as iron. Okay, the Tool of Habit. So I feel like the Tool of Habit, I think this is really good. I think it's showing that there is a lot of strength, a lot of purpose in this, the kind of, that daily habit, the reinforcement that you get when you're accomplishing those goals on that day-to-day basis, right? And if we can solidify that habit, and really it sets as hard as iron, right? It's a very strong habit, and I think it's not something that you need to try to change. But if we can apply it to that long term, right? If we can direct this kind of habit toward those long-term goals, and I think it's really becoming a very, very useful tool, the Tool of Habit, right? Rather than this protocol or this process that you do, being kind of disjointed and just being busy work and being kind of all over the place, now we're directing it toward a very particular goal. And that long-term vision, I think is really going to come to fruition. But we've got to be careful with this relationship. That's definitely something that I see happening with this. I feel like it's going to offend you. It's something that you're going to take personally. But I feel like this person really means well, even if it's unsolicited advice, even if it is a criticism or an opinion that is contrary to yours. For whatever reason, it's very important that you don't react, that you don't act impulsively, that you let your intuition guide you, because maybe they're onto something. Okay, let's take a look at this mystery card. I would like to see something of the success here. I want to see some really good water energy, some really good earth energy. I would love to see obviously the Emperor, right? Your power card. And that would really show the correct usage of your discipline and your habits and your methods and your protocols, you know. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. The Tower. The Tower is that emotional reaction. It is, you know, somebody kind of rubs us the wrong way and we blow up. We cut them off. I'm never going to talk to that person again. Get your stuff, get out of here, right? So I feel like this is in reference to this relationship that you have. It might be with a father figure, okay? But it's that person, I think, in the next 10 days is going to give you some kind of unwanted advice, right? Or some unwanted criticism. You're going to want to just completely blow up the relationship. So let's be aware of that. And when you feel that start to happen, let's put that in check. I think this card is also about sort of the abrupt and immediate change that you're going to feel. And I don't feel like your life is really going to be any different with this. I feel as if you're still going to be focused on that, the immediate response of the universe, that feeling of passion and empowerment, and the satisfaction of the progress that you're making right here, right now, today. Right? But I feel like the change is that kind of peace or that certainty about the future, where now everything kind of makes sense, everything's connected. Right? Now it's part of this bigger picture, and I feel like that's a real change in your consciousness, but also in your confidence. Because I feel now that this really brings about an intense satisfaction of a different kind. You know, knowing that every ounce of our effort is building up something absolutely tremendous that's kind of, you know, always in the future. It's always something that we're going toward. I think it takes you to a totally different level of confidence, of satisfaction, of passion, and of enjoyment in what you're doing. Yeah. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Aries Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.